It really hasn't been Lance Stroll's year, has it? He's been injured for the start, nonplussed for the rest, and just straight up frustrated for the latter part of the season. With Stroll's recent garage outburst, it appears he's been listening closely to the sage teachings of ancient philosopher Fred Durst and his teachings in Break Stuff by the Limp Bizkit commune, with the focus of his fury being a member of the Aston Martin team, his own personal trainer. Want to find out if it's just one of those days? Or is this the sign of ongoing issues that will leave someone else with a fat lip? And stick around to find out what the future of Aston Martin could look like, with some very exciting prospects waiting in the wings. It seems more and more likely with each passing race weekend that Aston Martin's start to the year, where Alonso reigned supreme and Stroll became a cult hero for his broken hand heroics following a pre-season bike accident, will be in vain, as McLaren's upgrades throughout the year are proving to be more effective, leading them to draw ever closer in the Constructors' Championship. But just how did it end up like this? Well, while it could just be the wrong upgrade direction and the other teams catching up, Alonso's thoughts of the tyre direction post Silverstone, or the rumours of warnings about upcoming technical directives, the results speak for themselves. The performance that consistently secured Q3s and points has either dropped or been caught up with, leaving the team treading water as the Sharks start to close in. Despite Alonso's strong start, he's only been able to secure one podium in the last 9 races, a far cry from his run at the beginning of the year. However, this is the least of the team's concerns. What proves to be more concerning is the driver with the third largest qualifying gap to his teammate. Put your guesses in the comments, by the way, as to who's sitting in the top 2 spots. It's probably exactly who you think it is, with Lance Stroll looking like he's going to cost his team the 4th spot in the Constructors at the very least, with it being easily argued that had he pulled at least a few more points in each race, that the team may well have been looking at 3rd place. Let's be honest, if the form that Aston Martin were in at the start of the season had been properly capitalized on, their capitulation at the back end of the season would have resulted in a far more shallow fall from grace. If we look at some statistics, it's pretty clear to see that the imbalance of the driver pairing is the most glaring reason for the comparative plummet that they've experienced. Starting off with qualifying, Alonso's 15 to Stroll's 2, with Stroll crashing out in Q1 at Singapore and reaching Q3 only 6 times this season, a number which Alonso has more podiums than Q3 entries for Stroll. Yikes. In order for Stroll to match the points total that Alonso has set so far this season, he would have to add an additional Alpine Constructors points just to match him, as he currently stands 137 points behind, with Alpine having a notably poor season marred by a bad car, bad luck, and bad strategy. The fact that Stroll sits only just above them in the early round rocket ship that Aston Martin provided him is just frankly quite embarrassing. The lack of second driver has really cost the Aston Martin team, with Karun Chandhok expressing his concern over Stroll's performance so far this season, having this to say: "It's cost them in the Constructors' Championship. Earlier this year, we were looking at them being 2nd in the Constructors, and they're likely to end up 5th with the way the McLaren have caught up with them. The reality is, he has scored less than 1/3 of Alonso's points. McLaren has benefited from their 2 drivers racking up the points, and it's allowed them to catch up." Clearly, all of this mounting pressure onto an already heavy burden that Stroll carries while being the son of the team owner is adding up, and that pressure appeared to reach breaking points at the Qatar Grand Prix, resulting in a physical altercation between Lance and his trainer. While at first this was just speculation, Stroll confirmed this in the media pen later in the weekend, saying that everything was okay and that his trainer is a real bro and they ride together. Not exactly the professional response we'd expect from a driver losing his cool, but at least some accountability from the often nonplussed Canadian. Stroll's apparent break caused concern within the paddock, with Naomi Schiff voicing concern about Stroll's apparent distress while emphasizing the need for him to display better conduct, saying, "He's clearly distressed. We have to empathize because he's a human being and he's got emotions. He's going through something, but that doesn't make it okay. You have to act better." Aston Martin have so far brushed the incident aside, displaying a nothing-to-see-here attitude and seemingly dealing or not dealing with the issue internally, which, to be honest, is all you can expect from the team. Stroll has protection within the team that no other driver could ever expect. While this protection could seemingly extend his contract indefinitely as long as his father maintains the position at the top of the team, Stroll's seeming lack of motivation could see the cycle break and welcome new opportunities not only for other drivers, but himself too. This weekend, Stroll has spoken in an unexpectedly candid manner, saying, "We're in a rut and it's not getting better. Frustration is, I think, in the whole group right now. I mean, we want to do better, we want to get better, but it's just a struggle right now." With recent comments from his mother, prospective team buyers, and people within Aston Martin acknowledging a persistent lack of motivation and interest within the sport, it seems like Stroll has potentially reached the nadir of the situation within the F1 team. However, recent announcements of a Le Mans and WEC entry with their Valkyrie model may well offer Stroll a lifeline and a new discipline to rediscover his love for driving in. We do feel for the guy. It can't be an easy position, and the scrutiny and spotlight seems to have led to this complete detachment from the sport that he clearly once loved. So it seems more and more apparent every week that Stroll's exit from Formula 1 may be in the best interest of himself, the team, and the people around him. Which leads us on to the question, who is next in line for the seat at Aston Martin? Well, as long as Stroll's family tree doesn't have something to say about it, there are a few likely contenders. We'll start with the one that's been murmured about the most, but we really can't see happening personally for anything other than logistical reasons, and that's the current AlphaTauri driver, Yuki Tsunoda. The link here is Honda being confirmed as Aston Martin's engine supplier in the upcoming period, with Tsunoda gaining his seat at AlphaTauri due to being a factory driver for the Japanese automotive giant and ex-Red Bull engine supplier. While we do love the possibility of the most foul-mouthed and fiery driver pairing of Tsunoda and Alonso, the likes of which would make James Hunt sound like a choir boy, we believe that there is a far more deserving and interesting driver waiting in the wings. The often forgotten Aston Martin current reserve driver, 23-year-old F2 champion Felipe Drugovich. For some reason, this guy is just an attention black hole, with no one giving him the same fuss that fellow F2 champions Piastri and De Vries seem to warrant following their denial of a seat at the top table after their championship victories. Even while he was racing, nobody wanted to give Felipe the respect that he deserved, with fans of the junior category seeming to hold the likes of Pourchaire, Lawson, Iwasa, and Sargent in higher regard. For some reason, Drugovich just did not warrant the same level of excitement, which makes him perfect for the number 2 seat at Aston Martin. I mean, just think about it. For far too long, the team has been spoken as a racing team second and a dramatic family business first. Having a number 2 to learn under the tutelage of a 2-time world champion and quietly improve and provide a steady rookie season would be a perfect reset for the team and potentially provide a healthy and efficient working relationship for the future. He doesn't need to match Piastri, but the kind of understated and quiet starts with no faults to then later move up into the points positions and support the number 1 in the team would be just the kind of calm and order that the team has been crying out for years. With that being the bare minimum that Aston Martin can expect of Felipe, it's a no-brainer, and beyond that, there is legitimate reason to be excited about the prospect of him getting into a strong upper midfield car. I mean, just look at who he beat to the title in his championship-winning year. A current, although underperforming F1 driver in Logan Sargent, recent fan favourite in Liam Lawson, who, by the way, I've been a fan of since F3, and you hipsters better back off my driver and not hype him into the ground, as well as the seemingly inevitable F2 champion Théo Pourchaire, who for some time now has been deemed an F1 star in the making. The worst case scenario that we can really see is that Felipe is the calm balance that the team has been so desperate for in recent years, the ice pack onto the intensity which will restore order to the Silverstone outfit, and the best case scenario, a revelation who can drive the team forward to where it seemed to be headed at the start of the season, and the perfect student who can take on the mantle when Alonso eventually retires after the heat death of the universe.